Yes.
And then there is Zubeda Nyamlondo Ngobi.
Yes.
Who is you?
Zubeda.
Zubeda, yes. So I just want to confirm, all of you are currently 50% shareholders, isn't it?
Yes, we are.
And you would be the CEO?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so continue number 2.
Azura was pre-qualified by Kemsa to supply items. Copy of the pre-qualification notification is attached.
Yeah. Can you allow the CEO to just give us a brief on what your company is engaged in? Services, what kind of...
Apart from furniture, we were not that specific.
Let me get this straight. How did you get pre-qualified as a supplier? Let's start with that.
We saw an advertisement, they did, and we thought we were capable of, so we applied.
That is for the furniture?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what I'm asking. You are only pre-qualified as a supplier of furniture, office fittings, and office equipment.
That is what we applied for.
Did you apply for anything else?
No, we only applied for this.
Okay.
At that particular time.
Okay, I need to now ask you before I allow my colleagues as well. Are you supplied elsewhere in any other state corporation or government agency? Are you registered as a supplier of any item?
Any other institution?
Yes.
Yes.
Where?
Railways.
Where?
Kenya Railways.
Kenya Railways.
We have NAMSA. There are a few.
Kenya Railways, you are registered as a supplier of?
Materials.
Materials.
Construction materials.
Okay. I'll allow my colleagues just to be able to ask before I also ask you. This was in the year 2019, July.
Yes.
Have you done any business with Kemsa?
No, we haven't.
So even after you were pre-qualified, they never gave you any business?
No.
Okay. Is something that will not really be something that touches on her, but it is important, especially for members of the Fourth Estate. I don't know if they can remember, and especially us and our clerks. If you recall, the witness that came in yesterday indicated that they did not get anything in writing, that they were pre-qualified suppliers. But this one here, there's a letter confirming. But Paul?
Yes.
How did you come to know? How did you bid for supply of the masks at Kemsa?
Can I suggest we do one thing, because that one is now next. It is the next item on how she learnt of it. Why don't we just stick ourselves to the part of the pre-qualification and what the company does? Melly?
Thank you. Zubeda, and you are the CEO.
Yes.
And Kemsa is a specialized government agency. And this agency deals mainly on medical and non-medical facilities. I just want you to tell us briefly.
Yes.
I've seen you have been incorporated as well commercial services. What do you do? In a very short, tell us briefly what you deal in.
As a company?
Yes.
As a company?
And 2, after that,
yes.
You tell us as a company what you deal in, and then 2, tell us areas or entities that you've dealt with in government. That is where you've done business with, and what kind of business I've been doing with them. And if possible, chair, through you, she can be able to table the evidence. 3, the level of business you've done in government. That I'm talking about the volume. Maybe you've done work worth 2 million, 1 million, 100 million, 1 billion, something like that, and with evidence. And lastly, on your pre-qualification, I've seen you have been pre-qualified to supply office furniture and fittings and office equipment. This is your area of pre-qualification. Why did you opt to supply masks instead of chairs and office equipment? Thank you.
Yes, are you comfortable with multiple questions, or would you like one after the other?
It's okay.
Pardon?
It's okay. I'm okay with it.
With what exactly? Because there's another member with a multiple.
Any kind of supplies in terms of medical supplies in Kemsa before, even before the COVID period? And also I need also to ask whether you have some expertise in terms of medical supplies.
Yep.
As I said, we deal with the supply of materials. We are not specific in one area. We just do supply of everything. As I said, we do branding, supply of goods, of items, advertising.
So why don't we let her finish and then I allow you, Esther? Yes? Go ahead.
So the level of business we have done in government so far, up to now, apart from Kemsa on July, so since the company was formed, the first business we ventured into was Kemsa.
Kemsa?
Yes, this one, the pre-qualification one, is the first one that I personally applied for. Yeah, but we were not able to supply during the particular time we were actually given.
The 2019?
Yes, we
So
did not.
Did you supply it?
No.
In Kenya Railway, what kind of business?
Just be on record.
In Kenya Railway, what kind of business have you done? Because
We haven't done any. We just applied.
List of
year.
Have you ever done any business with government? You had to have said you've done business. What kind of business have you done?
It's not necessarily only government institutions that we deal with, even private institutions.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, Zubeda, our role here is we can only be able to correlate you with what you've been able to do previously in other government institutes. So what the member is asking is,
Yes.
have you done any business transaction with any government agency?
No.
You have never?
No.
Okay. So the first time you actually registered to be a supplier,
Yes.
you registered as a supplier at Kenya Railways, but you've never been able to do any business there, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just go back, Chair. What I think the witness. A few minutes ago, you talked about supplying materials.
Yes.
What were you supplying? And yet now you're saying you have not supplied. I think you're under oath.
Yes, I'm saying the company does, we supply materials. That
Yes.
is what the company does. For private institutions and for government, we are not specific to any area.
The issue of Kenya Railways, what did you tell this committee first?
You asked what kind of business we're doing. So we have registered ourselves in Kenya Railway. We have applied so far, but we haven't gotten any to supply. Yes.
We just need to be given proper answers. If she doesn't understand, maybe she need to ask whether we paraphrase what you're saying. Because I just asked specifically whether they have done any supplies before the COVID period to Kemsa in terms of medical supplies. Because we want to understand whether they had the knowledge in terms of supplying medical products or rather medical equipment or whatever in terms of medical supplies. That is what I wanted to understand. Because here we want to know whether Kemsa really dealt with a company which understands the issue of medical products or issue of medical supplies. That is why I'm asking that specific question, and I need proper answer. Whether she understands or she doesn't, she needs to answer us in that perspective.
All right. It's a very, very simple question.
We have not supplied Kemsa.
Okay. Now I'll add it further. You've never supplied Kemsa before.
Yes.
Anything,
before.
whether it is non-pharmaceutical or item-based or material or anything at all.
Yes, we have.
Okay. Did you apply to be considered as a pre-qualified supplier for pharmaceutical or non-pharmaceutical products?
No.
You did not?
Yes, we did
okay. Let's take it from there. Esther?
Morning, Chair. My apologies for being late. Zubeda, have you got the AFPRO certificate? Are you registered as a supplier with the majority shareholding being women?
Yes, we do.
You have AFPRO?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what was your turnover? What I'd like to know is what was your turnover in 2020, if you were incorporated in 2017, that means you have 2018, 2019 and 2020 accounts. All right. Here you are. You've got an LPO that is valued at over 350 million, if I'm not mistaken, right? What I want to understand is unless you're a front for someone, or you're a woman who before 2017 were doing really massive business in this country. Because even for me, I've owned a company and I've been in business twice. I owned Sharper Images, I owned Dr. Light, and I'll tell you one thing, I could never finance such an order. I could never finance such an order. Even with my relationship with my banks, even with securities that I've placed. So it's either you come from a rich family or you have done major business in the past, because here you are, you get an LPO which is suspicious in the sense that a lot of people got LPOs at that time. How did you finance this order? Did you really supply masks? And when did you import them? How did you pay for it? Where did you get your financing? Because really, this is a lot of money.
Why don't we do this, Esther? For purposes of chronology, why don't we start?
And I think Esther take another very good direction.
I understand.
Allow her to tell us the turnover in 2017.
Exactly, because that is now still based on.
So that is going to build into what Esther is asking.
Chair, in the public domain, there is something called COVID. Ms. Zubeda Nyamlondo Gombi can prove to us that she comes from a background of business, where she's had a good relationship with her bank, where she has capacity to do and finance and supply, and hold not being paid for this long, 350 million shilling LPO. All right. What was her turnover before? She's not done business with Kenya Railway. She's just got an LPO. I have a feeling that this company is a front for the COVID billionaires who have actually been getting these orders through proxies. And she needs to prove that she's not a proxy to a COVID billionaire.
You know, it's better right now, it is you who are here, who is here rather. All right. You will have to really explain to us. First of all, it's going to be a very simple question.
Sorry.
Let's just direct it, because we really need to. Someone told you when you go there, this is what you should say.
No one told me anything.
Okay, and we need to remind you again and again. It is your name that is currently here.
Yes.
If you're protecting anyone, all right,
yes.
You are at liberty to tell us that you wish to speak in camera. And if you feel that there is no one that you're protecting, as how you're alluding to it, because that your line of questioning and the way this thing is going is simply going haywire for you. And I'm telling you this again. The CS at no given time said that on a press release that there was a shortage of these PPEs, or face masks, or gloves, or for that matter. So I'm asking you again, when did he say this?
Chair, I had asked this question earlier.
With no letter?
No.
You went with samples?
No. The first day I did not go. The first day I went to inquire. I told them I was capable.
And then after that, you now went with the sample?
Yes, the following day.
The following day.
Yes.
And after you went with that sample, did you take that sample there in writing, or was that sample in verbal?
In verbal.
In verbal.
Yes.
I need to ask you this question now. How did they know the price at which you will be able to supply it?
The price that I will be able to supply.
Yes.
How did they know?
Yes.
Let her just answer. How did Kemsa know the price at which you can be able to supply at?
I informed them of the price that I would be able to supply.
You informed them verbally?
Yes.
And they told you it is not a problem?
Yes.
And how did they know what quantity you can be able to supply?
They asked me
What did they ask you?
the quantity I can be able to supply.
And you told them?
I can be able to supply 50,000 boxes in packs of 10.
And the price at which you offered them was what price?
690
690 shillings
Yes.
for a box,
for one mask.
for one piece.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 690 shillings for one KN95 mask. After all this was done, did they like ask you to provide anything, like to confirm whether you can be able to actually do this business, to confirm anything?
No, so when we took the sample, after 4 days they gave us the commitment letter, that was it. So it was up to us to supply.
So you just went there, you told them verbally, I can supply business worth 347,515,000. You offered them the price that this is what you can be able to supply, and in 4 days you were given a commitment letter worth 350 million shillings.
Yes, they said that it was an emergency procurement and they needed it as an emergency.
Chair, I have a question. Zubeda,
Yes,
you are under oath,
yes,
and you know the consequences of being under oath. Eh?
yes.
A weapon was used by some influential people who are really aware of what they wanted from this one. Because you cannot just walk into an office without a letter, without a request, and then you are given within 4 days you are given a commitment letter worth 347,515,000, and you have never supplied any item to any government company, and in fact you are pre-qualified to supply office furniture and fittings, supply of office equipment. I put to you, can you tell us,
Yes.
are you working for somebody?
No.
All right, members, there are very easier ways which the constitution and the laws of this country allow you. When this company was formed, we already have that information, but I'm waiting for the clerk to bring it. I need to ask you, from the day this company was formed till now, have you changed any hands? Are you the original owner?
It has been the throat. It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed,
Mind you,
okay.
yeah.
Now, I need to ask you, who are the signatories to this account?
The first community.
Yes.
It has changed now, but at first it was me and my colleague Fanis.
Who are the current signatories to this account?
Currently it is Fanis.
It is?
Fanis. Currently it is Fanis. It was changed as per.
Her partner?
Chair, before she goes,
No,
just a minute.
Paul.
Just a minute. Paul.
Yeah, simple. He can produce the letter if he's the one who wrote, and if the letter is there, he can produce the letter. If she doesn't have, you can say.
Honorable members,
That the good, because we had received. I wrote damage of the goods because the goods we received were damaged, so I wrote damage of the goods. So that's why we were not able to supply all of it. We supplied half of it, the first bunch. Yeah, they didn't arrive in a proper condition.
oh, okay. So basically, to get an extension, you just wrote that you had, but by that time you had not even secured the financing.
We were in the process of securing the financing.
But you had not yet secured the financing.
We had already signed the contracts with the bank.
No. Honorable members, I understand, Kandi, I'll allow all of you. I just need to get this very straight.
Yes.
By 1st of May, which was the date that you were meant to supply, you had not. You say you wrote a letter.
Yes, we did write a letter. I did. Sorry, I did write a letter.
Okay. Now, there's a saying in where I come from that if you want to lie, you better have a very good memory. I just want to remind you of that.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask this again to you. you walked into the office of Charles Juma. Honorable members, I of Mr. Charles Juma, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the first time that you saw Mr. Charles Juma.
Yes.
Okay. Then thereafter, you are told that bring a sample.
Yes.
Who did you see when you sent that sample there?
Sorry?
Who did you see when you sent the sample there?
I took the sample to him specifically in the office. And
To him in particular?
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh. Did he sign anywhere that he received the sample?
No, he just wrote on the box that you deliver in. So they had a sitting, all of them. So I was told to wait. So they had a sitting. They were checking if the quality is up to standards.
And how long did they take you?
A couple of hours.
Within a few hours. Okay.
Yes.
I need to ask you this again now.
Yes.
The items that you supplied.
Yes.
The items that you supplied, the sample. Where did you get the sample from?
The sample here. Here.
Here is
Parliament.
Here in Kenya.
in Kenya.
Yes.
So you bought these from a local supplier.
No. We didn't buy it from a local supplier. There's a company that deals with medical.
No. So you bought the sample from a local supplier, whether it is a company that deals with medical or not, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. The goods themselves.
Yes.
When did you import them?
Did you import them?
No, Esther. When did you import them?
We used. It wasn't specifically us importing. We had assistance in importation.
By?
There's a company that deals with it.
Surely your memory is so selective.
I know.
You choose what to share. She's choosing what to remember and what to remember. I want to tell Ms. Zubeda.
But let her
Bobby,
finish her.
no, she's under oath. She's under oath. We've told her so many times she's under oath. You're here protecting people that you know very well, who are the ones who actually got this order, and it's not you. You're just a small fish that has been used to fry a big fish. So all you have to do is tell us the truth. And you know, it's already, we've sat here with you, we're going round in circles. So you obviously got the sample from a local supplier. You're not the importers of these masks. You're not the financiers of this mask. We don't even know whether the facility you have could cater for this order. So who exactly are you working for? Who are you fronting?
Chair, maybe Zubeda, just to assist you. If you think that you need to, there are people who you don't want to mention their names because of the media.